It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, TGIF. I'm Philip Simon II.
And of course, it's our pleasure to be with you. I've got Philip Simon II with me today, and that's always interesting when he's in town.
Every once in a while he pops up, man. Every once in a while he pops up.
But Phil, we've also got some birthday greetings to send out this morning, right?
Listen, right off of the bat, I have to say happy birthday to Udine Roberts Satum. She is the wife of Paul. He called, this week to make sure that we got that in there. I want to say a very happy birthday to Udine. I can call her Udine now, right? Obviously, she has a place, a history with me. She used to be a former teacher along with Paul. And of course, with teachers, they will be Miss Roberts, Mr. Satum until the day they die. So this one time, Udine, just give me a break. I'm going to say happy birthday, Udine.
Well, a very special happy birthday to you. Anyone that could, no, I'm kidding. I was going to say anyone that could put up with Phil in their classroom deserves a very special happy birthday. But my understanding was that you were an excellent student. So that would be totally unfair. And certainly the evidence shows today. So all is well. A very special happy birthday to you. And to everyone celebrating this weekend, we extend all of our love and our celebrations with you. And then for those, unfortunately, who are normally on the weekend, Phil, you're also burying loved ones. So we extend our condolences to all of those dealing with that this weekend as well.
That's right. We tend to forget that there's always a flip side. There's life and there's also death, and it's all a part of the process. And at the end of the day, we should all be going, well, try. Some people definitely not.
Well, listen, it's been a pretty good week. A relatively quiet week I was going to say relatively quiet week on the political front, but that would be not true. No.
I don't think it's going to be quiet for at least the next. Some people say the next 3 months. Some people say the next year. So I don't know. I mean, who has the crystal ball?
I think I got a pretty good idea, Phil, but I'll tell you that one offline.
Okay. All right.
Well, listen, we've got a great show lined up for you this morning. Really excited about some of the people coming to speak with us. You might remember our friend Courtney Celeste Spears. She's been with us for the past 5 years, actually, doing something called ArtSea, Phil. She dances with the Alvin Ailey Company, but she's brought that love of dance back to the Bahamas, where her mother is from. And so we're looking forward to that segment today. I'm also going to be talking with Dr. Carlos Thomas. Yesterday was World Health Obesity Day. And so today we want to talk about that and kind of get a better understanding of how we can take care of our little ones, our children, to prevent them from going into childhood obesity. So that's going to be coming up as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm still kind of shocked by those stats that we saw on Monday. The Bahamas being the 6th obese country in the world. A third of our population fits into that definition. Wonder how our kids are faring. We've also got BPL to talk about energy efficiency and renewables. Current was off at 4 o'clock this morning, but it came back.
Current's off a lot of places, Phil. You don't even have to mutter it. I don't even know who's watching us right now.
So they're going to be on. They're going to be talking about that. But you know what? You got to give fair. It hasn't been that way for such a long time. So I'm going to clap my hands to BPL. And of course, I did an interview with a swimming champion, Izaak Bastian. I mean, just a smart, good-looking brother. I was just so impressed with him. I was more impressed with, his intelligence and his intellect and just the conversation. But obviously, he is a bad man in the pool, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I love to see our young people just doing their thing. And so it's going to be a great conversation, I'm sure. Before we get to any of it, though, we want to find out what the weather looks like this weekend. Had some early morning showers this morning and yesterday, Phil. And so we're going to find out from Godfrey Burnside what we have in store. Here's to the man that swims better than anyone else, the G-Man.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First for you comes first for us.
Pakistan, good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather sunrise, We do have a cold front that moved through the province here early yesterday morning, now across the southeastern islands, and we're seeing to make one in Aguas and the Turks and Caicos, and this will spark up a few showers across that area today. Today, though, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds with a few showers, mainly in the southeastern islands. The high temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a few showers again, mainly over the southeastern islands. The low temperature going down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados, 81 and 76. In Jamaica, 77 and 68. In Trinidad, 83 and 74. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 80 and 68. Across North America, Atlanta, 60 and 39. In Raleigh, 51 and 33. In Miami, 79, 63. Dallas, Texas, 66, 54. And Toronto, Canada, 34 and 18. As you go to the weekend, we have an area of low pressure. We'll move north of the islands on Saturday, and that will trigger off and drag along with another cold front that moves through the islands, northwest Bahamas, on Saturday night into Sunday morning. That will bring some showers, but most of all, some real windy conditions from the system, and that windy system lasts from Sunday into about Wednesday. And we're asking small craft operators to remain in port and use swimmers out at sea because of hazardous marine conditions. For the most part, we're looking at windy conditions, chance some showers. Most activity showers will be on Sunday, and those temperatures daytime will be around 80-degree mark at daytime and the upper 60s at nighttime. That puts you up in your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. While working to deepen the students' passion for dance and introduce them to a professional dance company environment, Artsy Dance is back for its 5th year. Here to tell us more about this, we're very happy to welcome Courtney Celeste Spears. She's the co-founder and director of ArtSea Dance, and she's a dancer with Alvin Ailey. And she also brought with her Izaak, who's a co-founder and an executive producer of ArtSea Dance. Asa and Courtney, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Morning. Hello, happy to be back.
It's a pleasure to have you guys back. I'm sitting here thinking that I remember when you first came into studio the first time to talk about this program, and now it's been 5 years. Wow, that's crazy. Courtney, how does that feel?
It feels surreal. I mean, time flies when you're having a really, really great experience. And I'm so happy to be back and really proud of us for making it to 5 years.
Yeah. Asa, for you, what is that feeling like?
I knew it would happen. It just happened a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah. I mean, the time is flowing by. But for those people who might have missed it, they might have been sleeping under the rock for the past 5 years. Let's let them know. What is ArtSea Dance all about?
Well, ArtSea started as my own personal way of wanting to give back to, first of all, the Bahamian community that has made me who I am. I love to dance. I dance with Alvin Ailey. And so as I grew in my own career, I started to just realize how much of a ticket dance is to see the world. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And so I brought the idea to Asa, with him being, I like to say a whiz in logistics and execution. I was like, I want to package this beautiful arts world that I live in and bring it to my home and bring it to students that I know would love this outlet. And 5 years later, we're still doing that each year. And it's just been wonderful to see the dance community come together under their love of the art form.
Excellent. Asa, for you, what kind of made you jump on board with Courtney's wild vision? What made you say, you know what, this is a great idea and a great way to contribute to another nation?
So the Bahamas for me has also become a second home. Every time I've ever been down there, I've been welcomed as if I was born and raised there. We've got our routine when we land, got to get our conch salad, got to make a few stops. And so it really became a home for me. And I also have a background in the arts, not dancing, but in production. And so seeing Junkanoo and seeing just the life and the culture in the Bahamas, when Courtney brought the idea, it was a natural fit, and it was almost a wonder that there wasn't the kind of resource that she had the idea for. And when you see an opportunity like that, you just have to dive into something and see how it goes after that.
Yeah, well, you certainly did a deep dive, like a Bahamas dive, right into it. And it's been 5 years later. Now, I remember, obviously in the first 3 years when you guys got started, we would have these live sessions, and there was even a show at the end and people could come and see it. And so a lot of it was incredibly interactive, one-on-one. COVID obviously came, and So right around the time that Artsy should have happened, yes, last year we got into our first lockdowns. Did you guys end up doing virtual sessions then?
Yes, we really, Asa and I got together and really wanted to see, okay, I know that this is sad because we can't be on the ground and connect in person the way that we want to, but, even though we're apart, this still presents an opportunity for us to really, connect with students. And so we were able to host free live Instagram classes in the morning. I was still trying to keep in shape, trying to keep whatever sense of stamina and energy I had. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna, dance, I might as well invite some of my friends and students that I teach to come along. We hosted some panel discussions to really talk about dance and talk to some professionals in Broadway and in the commercial industry and concert dance about their journeys. And we also, taught some students after school, they would come on after classes. And so we really tried to get creative on how we could use this time that we weren't on the ground in Nassau to still let them know that we're here and we're here to support them.
And so what's going to happen this year? Will it be online again, or will we get some in person? How will that work?
So this year, we are extremely excited to be able to return to the island. One of the big things was just making sure that our approach was as COVID safe as possible. And, every day is a little bit different. But I think one of the things we're most excited about is that we'll be partnering with Island House this year to host Artsy Dance. We will be doing smaller sessions. And so normally we've had large groups just due to some of the regulations. We've had to reduce the number of students we're able to have, but we are still aiming to have about 20 students in both our younger group and our older group. And this time what we're going to do is we're actually going to come back throughout the year. Instead of having one big weekend, we're going to come back and do multiple sessions where we're going to bring in guest artists each time. And then the focus will be just a day of workshops with them. So it's still the idea of bringing down a celebrated artist, someone to really engage with the community and the students. But instead of trying to bring in 5 or 6 instructors, we're going to bring in one and really focus each weekend around them and their interactions with the students. And that way we think we'll be able to really make the 5th year feel like a full year experience rather than just a one-time deal. We'll be able to continue this excitement over and over again. And we have some exciting people we're reaching out to bring for this.
That sounds awesome. And I have the privilege, obviously, some background knowledge. So I've gotten a chance to review like your program guide, and it looks like amazing. And so who are some of these awesome artists that are going to be coming down throughout the next few weeks?
Well, we haven't announced that yet, and we wanted to make sure we kept it a really good surprise, but hopefully we can come back here and make sure we let everybody know. But I'm excited to be kicking off the first one. It felt right for us to come and for me to kind of just see everyone. I missed everyone so much. I miss home. And so I'll be teaching and kicking off our first one next weekend, March 13th at the Island House. So I'm just excited. I've missed this so much. And so I can't wait. The TBD, the exciting people coming.
All right. Now, how can they get signed up? Have you guys already selected the 20 students, or is there still room for people to get involved and signed up?
So I would actually like to announce publicly to everyone who ever says that the Bahamians are going to wait to the last minute. That is no longer true. Artsy Dance has officially changed it. So we actually launched earlier this week, and most of our slots are actually taken up. We do have a wait list. So if you sign up and the slots are full, we have a wait list where students, we are actually looking, and if we have enough demand, we're going to try and add in an extra class just to make sure that we're able to accommodate as many students as possible. But if you go to our website, artseadance.org, ArtSea dance.org, that's where you'll find all the registration information. The class is about $40, which we thought was, competitive introductory price just for the talent we'll be bringing. It's more than just like the dance session. Again, we emphasize the physical therapy, the body wellness, the dance education. We have some dance films that we want to be showing the students. And again, we want to really create an opportunity where students are not just coming in, dance for an hour, going home, but making the full day feel like something for them. When they leave, they have more knowledge than when they showed up. So we're really excited to have launched this. And we saw signups rolling through as early as we announced. So the numbers are going, slots are filling up very quickly. So please get to the website if you guys are interested in joining.
And that is artseadance.com.
.org.
Dance.org. So ArtSea, SEA, remember we're the Bahamas, right? ArtSeaDance.org. Now we do have to go, but before we do, Courtney, you guys have been raising funds for this for the past 5 years, obviously, but it does cost money. It costs money to bring people in. It costs money to have these kids in this awesome space. And even though Island House is a partner, I'm sure there are other opportunities for corporate Bahamas to get involved. So how can people connect with you if they do want to sponsor a student or to help in some other way?
Yes, we are always looking for support. As Asa said, we want to make sure that this weekend and that the experience is an enriching one where students feel like they got more knowledge and they leave with something. And so support is always welcome, financial, whether it's supplies, we are always looking to just continue to grow. So if you are interested and would love to support or either sponsor a child, you can get our contact information on the Artsy website. There's a contact tab. Please reach out to me, reach out to Asa, and we will gladly accept as much support from the community as we can.
And we do have to go. Asa, last one, I promise. What is the youngest age that you guys start at for Artsy and the oldest age that you go to?
Yeah, so we usually will start students as young as 6. At that point, we think that they're able to sit around and focus on exactly what we're doing, and it's enriching enough. We don't really put a cap on the students. There's never an age where you can stop learning. We have parents attend with their children. We've had 30s, 40s, 50s attend. So we really keep it open to everyone. We'll just put you in the older age group. But as young as 6, and you can never stop being a dancer or a student. So we're happy to welcome everyone.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. I feel incredibly proud. I'm not going to lie. I kind of feel like we're somehow involved with this at Bahamas at Sunrise because we've been with you from the very beginning. And so it's really exciting to see you guys turn 5. So excited about the Island House partnership and the fact that we get to do at least some in-person dance this year. So really good things all around. Congratulations to you, Courtney. Congratulations to you, Asa. And thanks again for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be back with more after this commercial break.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future, so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
At Cutest, we put your baby's health and happiness first. We are an online baby boutique based in Nassau. We have searched far and wide to provide you with unique products and exquisite gifts that will please modern parents looking for all natural, safe, and unique alternatives to visit us at cutest.com. We'll be waiting on you.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshos.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. You can see the scenery has changed just a little bit. You'll find out why just in a second. But I am outdoors and Izaak is indoors, just back from the 2021 ACC, that's the Atlantic Coast Conference Championships. He competed at the top of his game for Florida State University, and he is wearing his colors, man. Izaak Bastian, a 20-year-old at FSU doing things and just putting the Bahamas on the map once again. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, man. I see you got your flag, you got your Puma, you got Bahamas across your chest. The only thing missing is the yes, man, because I've been hearing so many great things about you. So very proud already. Just like your mom and dad are, Darren and Shelly Bastian, gotta give a shout out to them as well. But listen, how did your love for swimming begin? I mean, that's what we're talking about. And it's not just because we're surrounded by water, I assume.
So I grew up around the pool. Like my brother, Drew Bastian, he grew up swimming. So since I'm 3 years younger than him and he started swimming at 3, I pretty much lived at the pool. I was there at most of his practices, just waiting for him to be done. After school, at the pool, and then I eventually learned how to swim and just stuck with it like that. And I guess what kept me in the sport is a lot of the awesome people I've met. I've made lifelong friendships. I still have friends from when I was 5 and 6 just starting swimming. And I guess really just the people and some of the experiences it's given me has kept me in the sport for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. We were chatting before we got started and I asked you, because I just had to tease with the background, and say, but wait a minute, Izaak probably spends so much time in the water. He doesn't want to see any more water here in Bahamas at Sunrise. I mean, what is the commitment required to just, be the elite athlete and be at the level that you're at, on a daily basis?
So it really takes a lot. Like you have to be very disciplined and it has to be something that you want to do, because at the end of the day, if you wake up for a 5 a.m. practice and you don't want to be there, then you're not going to go. You can just very easily turn over and go to bed. So it takes a lot of dedication and even time, like a minimum 20 hours a week. You're doing something for your sport, whether it's swimming in the pool, dry land practice, weight training, in the recovery room with the trainers, anything like that. Like minimum 20 hours a week is what I do to keep up what we have going here. Yeah. And then even nutrition wise, sometimes you gotta, cut out a little bit of the sugars or a little bit of the fats, just gotta keep a steady weight. Or even if, I need to gain a couple pounds for upcoming meet, like, what your race weight is and you just gotta get down the calories. But it does take a lot of dedication, and especially when we leave for meets, like how we were at ACCs last week. I missed classes for a week and now I have to play catch up this whole week. So I have a lot of makeup tests, homework. Yeah. And that on top of the normal class load is a little bit stressful sometimes. So it's a bit of a struggle, but hey, it's what I do and I enjoy it. So.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, people who, they hear about the student athletes all the time and they think that, they get exempt, from their schoolwork and, it's all just sports and play. But as you can see from that background there, you got to be hitting the books, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not all just sports and play. Like, people always say that it is, going to college, you're like, oh, you're going D1, like people will be doing your work for you. Like that is definitely not what happens. And it takes a lot of coordination. And sometimes teachers very well could just be rude and say, no, you're not going to have this makeup test just because you think you're an athlete. But most of my teachers have been pretty lenient and they understand that we're trying to better ourselves and do things for the school as well. And they, work with you a little bit. But obviously it's not just like, all right, just make up the test whenever. Like you still have deadlines you need to meet. You still have grades you need to get to stay eligible even. So it is still a lot of work.
It is, yeah, no doubt about it. So let's talk a little bit about the ACC Championships that was last weekend. Your head coach, Neil Studd, said, and I'm quoting him, hit everything perfect and just crushed your best for a new school record. And of course, the NCAA invite time at the ACCs. Man, tell us all about it.
So I'd spoken to Neil right before the race about a few things that we had been working on all season, and something that we noticed from my morning swim that was an obvious fault. So we spoke about it and he said, just focus up, just don't think about too much, just those 2 or 3 things. And that's it. And that's kind of been our big thing this year. Like you don't want to focus on too much because you'll forget everything. So if you focus on 1 or 2 big things, then you'll definitely remember them and you'll nail them down. So that's what we did. And I don't think it was a perfect race, but I think it was pretty good. And I definitely cannot complain with the time that I went. But in the race, I don't know if I thought I was going that fast. I just wanted to be done. Like I was in a lot of pain. So I was just like, the faster I bring it home, faster it's over.
Right.
So I just did the best I could to bring it home as fast as I could. And I touched the wall and was very excited at the time. And I don't know, just a moment of relief, knowing that the last couple months of training wasn't for nothing. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, pain sometimes is a great motivator. We're talking about the 100 breaststroke, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the time?
I was 51.83, I believe. I'm not sure. I know it was 8 something.
Yeah, so I'm reading here that you became the first Seminole, the only Seminole actually, to break the 50-second barrier. That must be amazing. I mean, FSU, for people who don't know, man, it's a school rich in tradition and history and spectacular athletes from the past and obviously from the present.
Yeah, definitely has a good legacy of swimming and just sports as well. And that's part of the reason why I chose the school. But yeah, just being the first person under 52 seconds was amazing. And we have our record board right as you walk into the pool. So it's something that I look at pretty often, and just in the back of your mind, like I try not to focus on those things, but it's kind of just always there. And if you always see it, then you kind of just entertain the idea of what if, so that's kind of what I did. Just looked at it every day, just walked by, didn't think too much about it, but you just look at it and it's up there. So now I'll be up there with some other great names.
For a very long time, let's hope for sure. But the 100 breaststroke is not your only event. I don't know if it's your favorite event, but what are your other events?
I also races? The 50-meter or 50-yard freestyle, as well as the 200-yard breaststroke.
All right, which one is your favorite?
I don't know. Like, I used to really love the 200, but in my old age now, it's become a little bit more painful. So I like the 100. And the 50 freestyle is just something that's get my mind off of breaststroke and kind of switch it up sometimes in practice. So I don't really train it that often, not really at all, but it's just something that I can, get a nervous swim out before my breaststroke races, because it's usually before those two races in the meet schedule. So I usually use it as kind of get my nervous swim out, feel my stroke, and feel the water a little bit and see how the competition is, and then just let loose my other two races. But
the ripe old age of 20, man. That's what you call, a junior in college. You're 1 year away from graduating. What are you majoring in at FSU?
I'm majoring in athletic training doesn't have a physical therapy grad program for me. So I will be moving schools. Hopefully I'll go somewhere in South Florida. That's the dream, so I can be a little bit warmer. But that's my plan now.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, it's been a pleasure just talking with you. Just so bright, and I can see, obviously you're an athlete, but certainly you're also a very, very talented and smart student as well. Izaak, we're wishing you the very best here. We're rooting for you. So after, the end of next year in physical therapy, is swimming, in the future as well?
Honestly, I don't know how much longer it'll be in the picture. I see myself graduating and maybe hitting one or two more goals after that. But other than that, I think I've done enough in the sport where, I've done it so far for 17, 16 years, and it's been a huge part of my life. And I think at that point, once I graduate and I'm done with school, I can move on to a new chapter of my life, that it would be a good time to leave it behind me. But as well as I definitely would like to stay around the sport, support the younger athletes, give back to something that gave me so much. Yeah. So I definitely don't see myself leaving the swim world, but I do see myself stopping competing at the level that I am right now. Maybe I'll hop in the pool every once in a while, just have fun, but I don't see myself spending 20 plus hours a week every week for the next couple of years. Yeah.
No doubt. Izaak, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I am so proud of you. I'm pretty sure Darren and Shelly are the same way. We wish you the very best. Continue to break those records while you can, man.
Thank you so much. I'll be trying for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Bahamian swimmer Izaak Bastian right here on Bahamas at Sunrise. Not quite sunrise for this particular segment, but certainly the sunrise, and it's still rising for Izaak. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
The COVID-19 pandemic demands the most modern techniques and highest standards of sanitizing to ensure the safety of schools, businesses, churches, and the ones we love. Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizers offers state-of-the-art electrostatic technology, providing maximum efficiency and coverage to protect your environment and preserve your health against mold and 99% of bacteria and viruses, including COVID-19. With pricing to match your budget and standards to meet your highest expectations, we invite you to contact us for a free analysis of your weekly, monthly, or single-use needs. COVID-19's impact is strong, But our commitment to restoring your safety is even stronger. Treeline Divine Sanitizing. Spread confidence.
Thank you for staying with us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And TGIF to you, I'm Philip Simon.
And of course, we're hoping that you've been enjoying the show so far. Great conversation. Phil, between the millennials and the Gen Zers, I am continuously impressed by their dedication, their commitment. And so a great talk with Courtney from ArtSea, and then seeing you interview Izaak Bastian, just another brilliant young Bohemian. I can't stop smiling, as you can see.
I know, right? And with Courtney, I just love it when people give back. And, I think she's here right now. And, this thing, you could feel the passion, right? So you have this talent, you have this skill, and then you're utilizing that, not just in your life and in your career, but also to pass back on to others. I mean, it's just great stuff, right?
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. And so this is why we do the show. It always leaves you feeling inspired. And of course, we do inspiration. We also give some really pertinent information as well. And so it really becomes this great hub of energy and knowledge. But just, you can see the future is bright whenever we get to interview these outstanding young people. And so great morning so far. More to come in the second half. I'm going to be talking with Dr. Carlos Thomas about childhood obesity.
Yeah, and I will be talking with BPL about energy efficiency. Of course, that's the talk of the town. How do we save money? Well, what exactly does energy efficiency mean? All that and more. But before we get to that, Godfrey Burnside, the swimming weatherman, has our second look with Weather at Sunrise.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. And yes, second look at weather sunrise. Cool front across the southeast islands will spark some showers across that area. But our eyes are on an area of low pressure that will move north of the islands on Saturday and Sunday. And that'll bring us some real windy conditions, creating hazardous marine conditions. And we ask its watercraft operators to remain in port, use swimmers out of the water at least for the next 4 to 5 days. In your marine forecast, those winds today northeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, Prevalence 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. On Saturday, those winds south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet northwest and central Bahamas, continuous variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. Then on Sunday, those winds north to northeast at 15 to 25 knots, seas building 5 to 8 feet on northwest and central Bahamas, south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides, currently have a low tide at after 6:44 this morning. Next high tide will be at 35 minutes past midday. Low again this evening at 6:49. Sunset 6:12 this evening. Rises tomorrow 6:28. UV index 7. Your water temperature 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase last quarter. Your external outlook. We're looking at variable cloudiness on Saturday and Sunday with the chance of some showers as that low pressure moves towards the east, north of the islands, and bringing those windy conditions. Temperature daytime will be around the 80-degree mark, at nighttime in the upper 760s. That puts you up on your front look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. Well, this morning I get to talk with one of my favorite people. I'm going to say I'm a little bit biased, but it is because he takes care of my little ones. Yesterday was World Obesity Day, and we wanted to get the facts on childhood obesity. You know, when is a child considered obese? What are the causes? What are the consequences of weight gain in young people? And there was only one person we could have this conversation with. We call him our resident pediatrician, Dr. Carlos Thomas from Pediatric Associates. Good morning, Dr. Thomas, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's nice to be back on. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure to speak with you, Doc. I want to get right into this. Early on in the week, we spoke with Doctors Hospital, and they were talking to us about obesity, obviously from more of an adult perspective. But one of the comments that they did make was that it actually gets started in childhood. So how do you define obesity in children?
So, the international standard is to use the body mass index, where your physician, your medical practitioner does a calculation based on your weight and your height. And the BMI, as it's called, if you're over 25, you're considered overweight, and over 30, you're considered obese. But those numbers apply to adults and older children. So you may have a child who has a BMI of 20, which is less than 25, but may still be overweight based on the age. So it's very, very important that we pay attention to these details, because we are very concerned that we're seeing an increase in childhood obesity over the years.
All right. And so given that, then you say we've seen an increase, but what is the prevalence of childhood obesity in the Bahamas? From a national perspective overall, we're ranked 6th in the world. Have we kind of seen that same trend in our children?
I don't have the specific numbers for the pediatric age group. My impression, though, and speaking with my colleagues locally, is that we're seeing more and more children who are obese, and it's very, very concerning. And we think it's due to a variety of things. Clearly, the diet plays a big part. We are having children eating more processed foods, more fatty foods, snacking more on the wrong things, less fruit and vegetables, more sodas and sweet drinks. And so that coupled with the fact that we are not as active as you and I perhaps were as children, children at home, on their laptops. And then to add to that, we've had this pandemic over the last several months. So more and more children at home, less PE and so on. So it's very, very concerning. And the big concern with childhood obesity is that if this is not checked early, this is likely to lead to obesity as an adult.
Now, as an adult, when we are obese, there are certain factors that come more into play, right? You're more likely to get heart disease, more likely to get hypertension, more likely to get diabetes. Is this the same for children? And do we find maybe that they experience these things at an earlier age if they have been overweight for a longer period of time? Is there any connection?
There is a connection, strong correlation between being overweight and having diabetes. And we are also seeing an increasing number of children with type 2 diabetes. Years gone by, that was a condition we saw primarily in the adult population. But we're seeing more and more children coming in with very, very high blood sugars, high hemoglobin A1C, and that's very concerning because, as you are well aware, we have a big problem locally with chronic communicable diseases. Mm-hmm. And it starts from infancy, but we're speaking off air about feeding infants. I want to put a big plug in for breastfeeding, mm-hmm. because many studies have shown clearly that breastfed babies tend to have less obesity as adults. Okay. So what you do for an infant impacts significantly on their future development. And then when we start to introduce foods to babies, we tend to give them the sweeter things first, don't we? We tend to give them the applesauce, the bananas, the mangoes first, and they quickly acquire a taste for sweet things. So it's very important that as parents, we start them off correctly, and then we lead by example, because it's been clearly shown that if you live in a family with a family who are obese, family members who are obese, your chance of obesity is 3 times greater.
Wow.
So
all right.
We have to lead by example.
So Doc, let's talk about leading by example, right? Obviously, we as parents ought to do that, but are there steps that we can be taking if we think that our children may be heading down an area where they may be overweight, we're concerned about, their health, and we want to just change obesity in children? What steps can we take? What interventions are required to help a child to get back into good physical shape and to get rid of the overweight or that she's just chubby or he's just solid? How do we get rid of that?
Well, the first step is to make sure you're being checked up regularly. So once you're age 2, you should be seeing your physician at least annually. So, usually these things happen gradually. And so your physician can see the trend and can discuss strategies with the parents. We have to get kids moving again. We have to get them outdoors. even within the confines of our homes. But we have to get them moving, skipping rope, jumping, swimming, running, basketball. We have to get them off the sofas, off their electronic devices, and more time outdoors. That's one. And then we should eat together as families. That is very helpful to make sure children see us eating healthy. As parents, we have to set the example. We have to eat large amounts or appropriate amounts of fruit and vegetable. And the typical Bahamian diet is very heavy in starch, as you're well aware. And that's one of the contributing factors.
So one of the challenges that I face as a parent, I will be honest with you, Dr. Thomas, is wanting to make sure that my children also get to enjoy their meals when they're not with me. So for example, a lot of schools are back in session now. And while some schools have healthier menus than others, some of the foods that we find, even if they're offered in a healthy way, are also very kid friendly. So that you're gonna have your chicken nuggets, you're gonna have some pastas. Is that okay in small portions? And can you then balance that maybe with what you give for breakfast at home and dinner at home? How strict and stringent do we need to be with allowing our kids to still be kids while also making sure that they're having healthy choices?
That's a very good point you raised, and balance is very important. I've had young people, 10, 11, ask, are you saying I can't have any fast foods? No, but balance is important. And so portion sizes is a big issue. So even when you eat the right things, if you eat too much of it, that's not good. So it's very important to pay attention to portion sizes. I have parents who say to me, Dr. Thomas, the milk is not filling my child. And we have this idea that you need to be full, you need to be solid, and solid is not necessarily good. In fact, quite often it's actually very bad. And if you're not careful, you become adjusted to an obese child and they appear normal to you. And it's very, very concerning. There's impact on the child's social interaction. So there's lots of stigma attached to being obese. And so it's very important that we help our children to develop good self-esteem, to feel good about themselves, and to encourage them along.
Dr. Thomas, is there anyone that we could see if we, are a parent, we are concerned about things, who can maybe guide us with nutrition? Because I think a lot of parents maybe would want to help, but sometimes parents can't help themselves. And so if you have bad habits, it's hard to kind of instill different habits in your children. So it might have to be a family thing. So are there family nutritionists or people that are available to us here in the Bahamas that can help to organize our meals and just get us more focused on the right sorts of things that we should be eating?
Yes, we have a small cadre of excellent nutritionists locally. All the pediatricians know these people and all the health practitioners know. I don't want to start calling names, I may miss some people, but there's some excellent people who are very much interested in making sure that our children are kept healthy and also enjoy their meals. So you can be healthy, you can have healthy diet that's enjoyable as well.
All right. So Dr. Thomas, we do have to go, but as usual, you bring so much wisdom to us. You talked to us about so many practical things that we can do. And one of the things I want to make sure that I do with my daughter, even today, is to just make sure that we go outside and skip rope, right? That's something that I can teach her, something that will be fun for her and still help her to get moving. So I love that you give us such practical advice. How can we reach you if we want to, get connected with you, bring our kids to see you? How do we connect with Pediatric Associates?
Well, as you know, I work at the Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital, but I'm also in private practice at Collins Avenue in Caves Village, and the numbers are listed in the directory and online. I'm looking forward to seeing you and your children again in the office soon.
Certainly, we've got a visit coming up in about 3 weeks, so we'll see you then. But thanks again for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise, Dr. Thomas.
It's been my pleasure. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, bringing you the best information. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
At Cutest, we put your baby's health and happiness first. We are an online baby boutique based in Nassau. We have searched far and wide to provide you with unique products and exquisite gifts that will please modern parents looking for all natural, safe, and unique alternatives to what can be found locally. Quantities are limited, so don't delay. You've come to the right place. Visit us at cutest.com. We'll be waiting on you.
Bahamas at Sunrise kicks off the new year in style with a fashion series hosted by yours truly. It's Fashion with Cardell McClown, your guide through all the seasons, from challenges to interviews to fashion shows. We'll help you create your style, build your brand, and celebrate the best in Bahamian fashion. It's big, it's bold, it's fashion with Cardell McClam.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
Welcome back to the show. Today, March 5th is World Energy Efficiency Day. It's a day set aside to educate and create awareness about energy efficiency as the best way to meet energy needs, cut consumer bills, reduce pollution. Here to tell us more is the Director of Grid Solutions and Support Services. I think that's a long name for everything. Burlington Strong, welcome back to the show. It's been a very long time, my friend.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. We're talking energy efficiency. We're talking BPL, but let's just jump straight. What is the standard definition of energy efficiency for those who may not know?
Well, the standard definition for energy efficiency is a measure of the energy productivity for an economic good or service. So basically, the less energy required to produce a unit of output, the more energy efficient that economic activity is. Simple way to think of it is sort of like your car, where you get miles per gallon. The more miles you get per gallon, the more efficient the car.
Yeah, and the further it goes, right, to get you to your destination. Well, let's tie that to economic growth, because obviously, you know, we talk about this all the time, the cost that goes into any type of operation, whether it's your home, whether it's your business, or whether it's the national economy. So how does energy efficiency contribute to economic growth?
Yeah, well, simply put, at the microeconomic level, essentially energy efficiency allows the customer to free up more money for themselves to use on other things. So if you're not spending money on electricity or energy costs, you have that money to spend on other goods and services, and in doing so, you stimulate the economy and help the economy grow and thrive.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time, especially with our electrical bills, right? And the lower they are, the more money we have to do other things as well. When we're talking about energy efficiency for developing economies like the Bahamas, I don't know if it's a different impact for the Bahamas as a small island development state, or the United States of America, which is a first world country. Is energy efficiency good for developing economies, or better for developing economies?
Yeah, energy efficiency, if employed on a large scale, is very good for economy as large. Basically, especially here in the Bahamas, here we basically import all our energy products. We import oil, gas, everything. So as the country and the consumers in the country become more efficient, there's less of that foreign exchange that has to go out of the country to purchase those services and goods from foreign entities.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, more energy efficiency also helps with the environment because it reduces the amount of pollution from cars, the electricity generation. All of that is good for the economy.
Right, and of course, the less money that goes out, just like with the home, the more that can stay in and can do other national things. So it's all tied together. You know, we talk a lot about renewable energy, and you know, there's so many different types. You know, we talk about solar in particular. What is the difference when we're saying renewable energy versus energy efficiency? Because sometimes we tie them together. They could be tied together, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah, renewable energy is basically getting your energy from an unexhaustible source, solar, wind, those sort of things. So it's an alternate way to get energy as compared to fossil fuels. But it is very important to take into account efficiency as well. Efficiency basically is consuming less, making more efficient use of what you do consume. And if you're going into renewables, one of the first things, your first effort should be in conservation. Because what you want to do is you want to reduce your needs so that your investment in renewables can be as small as necessary to support your actual needs.
Yeah, and when you talk about that investment, particularly over time, we call it the capital investment. So it's the upfront cost, and you want to be able to minimize that, or you stretch that over a longer period of time, and hopefully the equipment, the apparatus stays effective. But let's jump into the home. What are some of set appliances or appliance settings we can change to be more energy efficient within our own homes?
Yeah, but energy efficiency for the consumer, the first big thing is behavioral changes. You need to change your approach to your energy use so that you use energy when you need it and don't waste it when you don't. I mean, if you went into the bathroom to wash your hands, you wouldn't leave the water running until the next time you came back to the bathroom to wash your hands.
Right.
So things like turning off the lights as you leave rooms, turning off air conditioning, that's the basic behavioral changes that you can do. Beyond that, if you're constructing a new home, you want to take advantage of technologies that allow you to have more efficient windows, put in insulation, seal your building well, in order to reduce the energy needs of the building and the entire envelope. On the appliance level, there are things like keeping up with maintenance on your appliances, because if your air conditioning filters are dirty, the unit works harder. If you don't maintain your water heater, it heats more and uses more energy there. And of course, there's the lighting that everyone knows about. Lighting, if you are on the old incandescent bulb types, effectively, your home could be using up to 12% of its energy for lighting. By switching to the energy efficient LED lighting, you can significantly reduce that. And of course, don't leave lights on when you don't need them. So there are many different ways out there to save energy through behavioral changes and equipment changes. The key is to always think about it, always have it in the back of your mind, so it becomes a part of how you live your life, as opposed to something that you have to always remember to do.
Yeah, well, you talk about those behavioral changes. That's sometimes the toughest thing to do, developing good habits. Certainly, if you get that bill often enough, it's going to be at the forefront of your mind, not just at the end of every month. But you're right, developing good habits goes a very long way. You mentioned, the lighting, within a home or within a business. That's a big deal, right? I mean, what type of light bulbs are we talking about? What type of light bulbs should we be using?
Well, the type of bulbs you should be going towards now are the energy efficient LED light bulbs. Compact fluorescents is still out there, and in some cases, they're a little bit less expensive. They have more of an environmental impact because of some of the contents in making those up. So the real trend now is towards LED. And of course, it's important to note, you should also take advantage of natural lighting. If you have a window and you can open the blinds, that is free light. I mean, the sun is already out there. You don't have to pay for it. So you want to use all the available options in order to meet your lighting needs.
And not just, so you took us right into the next question, which is about construction and remodeling of homes and businesses, et cetera. There's so many things that you can do to reduce energy consumption from the design. You talk about window placement. Elaborate just a little bit more on, not that, some of us are probably set already within our homes and there's not much adjustments that can be made, but certainly at the initial stages when you're constructing and remodeling, what are some of the things that persons can do to reduce energy consumption?
Yeah, like I said, at the beginning of construction, there's a lot you could think about. Often it is a little bit more cost, but what you have to think about is the long-term value you get for that investment. So if you know you're going to be putting central air conditioning or air conditioning in a room, one of the things you want to do is make sure the room is well insulated. Insulation in the ceiling space is very good. That's where about 30% of the heat load gets into a building. Putting on energy efficient windows so that they have either reflective coating or they're double panes so they let less heat in through the windows. That helps. Even as simple as the color that you paint, that you have on your roof. Many people like dark roof colors, dark blues, dark browns, but all of that adds to the heating load and that heat eventually penetrates into the house. So putting on a light color, a light gray, a white, will save you energy in the long run. And other options, vegetation, a lot of things you can do if you think about it ahead of time. And as retrofits, there are things like you could put awnings up. So if you have a lot of southern windows where a lot of heat comes up, you can get awnings and put on that side of the homes to shade the windows so you still get the light, but you don't get as much of the direct heat. So those are some of the changes you could consider.
This is great stuff, Burlington. You talk about the synergies within the environment and tying it all together, developing great habits. I should have been writing this down, but there's got to be a place on BPL's website where we can get all these tips, right?
Yep, we are currently revamping our website. So if you go to our website, there is an area on energy efficiency. There's an area on the renewable technology program that we have. So you could go to our site and get information like this. And there are a lot of other resources on the internet as well that you can use. Energy conservation is basically the same for everybody. So, you don't have to limit yourself to what we put out. Go out there, research it, do what you can and find what you can.
All right, great. Listen, thank you so much. Burlington Strong, Director of Grid Solutions and Support Services. Next time we didn't get you to break down that title even more because I know it's a heavy one. Good seeing you, my friend.
No problem. Take care.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Us folks, thank you so much for tuning in this morning to Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Phil, did you have a good one?
Great show, lots of information. I figured since you've got yours, I might as well have mine.
Morning, Kaylee and Camuel.
Morning.
Man, look at him just smiling. Geez. Where's the time flying, Star?
It goes too quickly because I remember when Camuel was this size and Kaylee was just a little bigger. So the time, it goes too quickly, Phil.
Yeah. Well, listen, great show, and we get to do it again on Monday.
We'll see you then. Make it a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye. You want to say bye-bye?